what is your process when you're working with a new client or a brand for YouTube marketing?
That's good. So beyond like you get on a call and you figure out what the hell their business is and what they're, the stuff that you would have to do no matter what. That part's kind of easy because they usually already have the business. They have something they're already doing. So then it comes down to actually making the video. So then the actual process is, what problems can you solve? Okay, so there's some type of problem that you're trying to solve. There's always some type of problem, right? Then you search that, 'cause you have to do like market research. It literally takes like 10 minutes. Like this is why a lot of people just don't get any views because they don't search the idea that you have.
Welcome to the Creatives Corner Insights, where we dive deep into the creative journeys, processes, and strategies of the most innovative creators and entrepreneurs. My name is Steven, aka DoublePulse, the host of DoublePulse Media, and today we're going to be exploring the evolving world of YouTube marketing with a very special guest, Jeff Parker, who is a seasoned YouTube marketer at this point. I've known him for about a year. He's been redefining how creators and businesses approach sustainable growth online. He's been the mastermind behind the $500 YouTube marketing system, which is a lean and repeatable strategy that helps creators generate leads, clients, and freedom without the burnout of constant social media hustle. And with a vision to build life and freedom of creativity, Jeff has shifted his focus to systems that prioritize long-term impact, clarity, and efficiency, from crafting evergreen content on YouTube that only can be completed within 2 hours through nurturing people through your email. Jeff's approach is pretty much all about working smarter, not harder. So today I am welcoming him to share his insights on YouTube and why YouTube is still the ultimate platform from lasting growth, and how do you streamline that workflow and what it takes to escape the chaotic hustle and build a business you truly love. So grab a notebook, settle in, and let's get right into. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
What's up, man? That was a good intro.
Thank you.
Perfect.
It has been a while since I think we actually talked on a video call. What have you been up to? What have you?
Probably a lot. So
because you closed your school group.
What was that called? What was that called?
YouTube marketing something. I don't remember. But yeah.
Yeah. So I changed that and I upped the price like 5 times the amount. Because what I noticed it just wasn't enough. The same amount of work that I'm doing now, I was doing the same amount of work then for 10 different people.
Right.
Okay, this needs to be realistic, and you can't scale this thing. Or I would try too much. I put too much effort into everybody's channel because that's what they're there for. That's what they bought this, and then I'd just totally burned out.
You would say that was probably your biggest learning lesson to it. It's just that you've so much demand for a school group and all that there's too much. So you reopened it. What are you doing differently now that you did not do last time that's going to make it more sustainable for you?
The price is higher, so there's just simply less people coming in. They don't have DM access, but we just talk in the group the whole time. I think those two things have helped a lot. There's 2 clients in there.
Yeah.
I need 10. I don't need 2 to make the same amount versus 10. It's just so much. That's all I did, honestly.
So when it comes to marketing, obviously there's many different marketing ways. And what inspired you to focus specifically on YouTube as a marketing platform than say email, X, TikTok, which that's kind of been in a murky waters. But why YouTube? Yeah, why YouTube?
I think that's the only that, and besides a website, SEO for a website, if you make a social media post, it dies in 24 hours. This is a fact. It just completely dies. YouTube, though, they make a video and just goes forever. You get impressions and views, which turns to leads and clients forever. Right. Just one video. And then you're doing that forever. And then you're on video, the whole aspect of video. Right. It's not even just YouTube. It's just how many other platforms can you post a video that doesn't die out? That's huge. If you've been hustling on social media, you'll know exactly what I mean.
I know I'm on X a lot, and I see a lot of copywriters who post on X, which is great. I'm not knocking them, but I think one of the biggest issues is some of them don't even do YouTube content. So it's like, why are they that post? It's gonna fade after 5 minutes, but with a YouTube video, you kind of it's constantly serving a new audience, and that's the same with podcasting as well. But one of the interesting things that I noticed about YouTube, and even when I was working with you, is that YouTube is a completely different beast when it comes to marketing. So how does YouTube marketing differ from other forms of digital marketing, such as social media ads or SEO?
So it's like social media. It's harder to, because with YouTube, it hits more people, like it hits more like top of funnel stuff. So like it's very hard to put like a book a call type call to action in a video. Like it just doesn't, statistically, it just doesn't work. So you usually need some other like companion piece, like an email list, maybe whatever, a low ticket offer, because it can reach like anybody. It's just so much top of funnel that you can't put those same call to actions that you put in social media. People are just like, you're selling to me, get out of here. Like for social media or an email list,
right?
You can just put this, hey, do you want to work with me? Here's this call to action. Just nobody cares.
Interesting. So it's almost like with the social media aspect and the email marketing, they have to sort of work together rather than being separate. Because if you just threw your YouTube video up with a call to action, people kind of get irritated by that and they're not going to click it. But if you're offering value and sort of a different approach to it, it sort of leads them. The YouTube would be like the top of the funnel, leading slowly down into the, them being a client or something like that.
Yeah, like the email list probably the second option. Like you go YouTube, email list, then you can send all like the personal stuff and like objections and all this other marketing stuff to actually like close the client. I feel like social media is almost like it's like YouTube, email list, and then like a client. But with social media, it's almost like over here. It's its own little, you spit stuff out really quick, like get quick feedback. You definitely get clients from it, but the stuff dies out so quickly. Like so many people I talk to and they're just like, yeah, I hate social media, but it's what I have to do. It's like, no, you don't. You don't. Yeah, you can, use it. It's insane not to use it, but like it should just be one part of the thing.
Right.
It shouldn't be the whole thing.
Yeah, which is why I think people need like an actual content management team that helps run the YouTube stuff, because that would sort of draw people in with the value, the trust. It's very similar in the elements of podcasting, which they're very close to the same beast. The biggest difference, and I've seen you talk about this before, is that with a podcast, it's kind of hard to market a podcast on YouTube without having the short form clips, because you're like, we talk for a whole hour and you have to edit and maneuver it. Why not you make a YouTube video to get to the point and have it be 5 to 7 minutes? So I totally see that.
Yeah, that was like a huge thing. I several people I've helped, and it would be, they would just talk about so many different things. I'm like, okay, well, we need to make this into someone's going to click into it. So do we either slightly be clickbait, say it's about whatever, cold email, and that's kind of part of it, or do you just make it about something that's just like, oh my gosh, we need to have direct like topics. So you have like an actual topic to make like a podcast. Not this, like this is YouTube marketing. If it spans somewhere else, that's fine, but it needs to start with the actual topic. So then someone will click into it. You have like an actual reason to make it a good title and thumbnail.
Yeah. And would you say there are any, what are some of the common misconceptions people have about YouTube marketing?
I think the biggest thing is like you have to get someone to click into a video. So which is usually, you can have a bad idea. Even the video can be bad. Like there's a fish tank running in the background. We've had which with this mic, it's probably can't hear. But you have to have a good title and thumbnail. Have like a really good reason for them to click into. Like that's a lot of my clients, I don't even watch their video. I'm like, tell me what the video is about. And I'll just help you with the title and thumbnail. And that works like 75% of the time. Like just to get more views, some more traffic to your, without even looking at the video. It's just a good idea, a good title, good thumbnail, and that's it.
That's interesting because, for me, if I'm looking into a good title, I feel like, especially with gaming content, I feel like I would have to watch the video first. And do you feel like for marketing, especially marketing a business, it's different than, say, trying to market a gaming video, and that the amount of money that you make, say, pitching your business is going to be more than trying to hit like a massive gaming audience? Would you say that makes any sense?
Kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, do you mean like yeah,
well,
tell
like,
me, tell me.
well, what's interesting is when we were working together and you helped come up with a thumbnail for me, or not a thumbnail, but a title for my video. Granted, yes, it was a gaming video that hit 1 out of 10, right out of the gate. But because it was a particular type of video that was not selling a service or product, I made less money on that than if I went the route of, hey, let's just get rid of all the nonsense of entertainment content and go directly towards helping people out.
Yeah, you would need less views. If that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
usually you need like 1,000 views is what I say. Like that's enough to get. Because like, okay, you'll make a video, it's going to drop to 50% retention with just average videos. So then you already lose. Now we're only like at 500 views, so you need like 1,000 views to really start getting leads to come in. Just come in the funnel. You're people to come in the funnel.
Yeah.
So you can get a lot less. So you can just get. I mean, the lowest video we've ever got was 59 views, and like that got a client. Someone that was probably luck, or it could be 120,000 views. Like we got the same client on both. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
1,000 views is the goal. Yeah, people have to have goals. If you don't give them a goal, they'll just sit here and they'll just leave. They'll churn. You have to give people goals.
Right. And I know you've worked with many clients and people such as myself. And one of the things that I noticed right at the bat when we were working together is the people that stuck around or had more to offer were people not in like the entertainment space, which is really a trip, because it kind of makes me wonder, like, how would you walk us through the process? Like, what is your process when you're working with a new client or a brand for YouTube marketing?
That's good. So beyond like the you get on a call and you figure out what the hell their business is and what they're, the stuff they would have to do no matter what. That part's kind of easy because they usually already have the business. They have something they're already doing. So then it comes down to, okay, actually making the video. So then the actual process is, what problems can you solve? Okay, so there's some type of problem that you're trying to solve. There's always some type of problem, right? Then you usually use search that, you have to do like market research. It literally takes like 10 minutes. Like this is why a lot of people just don't get any views, because they don't search the idea that you have. You just search it on YouTube or Google, or search Google like plus Reddit. If nothing pops up, like for example, good example, some guy was making a video about sprints, like as in like goal setting. Like you make these sprints every 30 days. We search this. There's no videos on sprints besides actual sprinting, like running, sprinting. There's no goal setting video ever. So you can't make that video because there's no demand for it at all. Now, really, it's about goal setting. So all you had to do is just change the video about goal setting. But if you didn't know that, you would have spent 6 hours, 2-3 hours making the video, the stress of the thing not working, and then you question yourself the next 7 days so another video comes out where you could have spent 10 minutes or found out it's a good idea. So that's like a big part of it. I just think they just don't see that part. They just do the market research.
It's the reframing.
That's how you get in terms of titles, thumbnails. There's like a system for all this stuff. But that's how you start. I have like a system for everything. You
have a system for everything. And I take it that's the system that people get when they join the YouTube marketing program. Interesting. Because I've always felt like, people who don't have systems are designed to fail. Like, even if your system is half-assed, you're better off than somebody that didn't have a system at all. Like, my system is not perfect, but I at least have somewhat of a system that I'm getting done. For example, I create YouTube shorts with an AI clone. I have other types of systems where I want to make sure that everything for setting up a podcast episode is already, set, like the Canva thumbnail, making everything stand out. So it's interesting. What do you believe sets your approach apart from others in the YouTube marketing industry? Because there's so many YouTube marketers out there that say, hey, we can get you 1 million views in 30 days and do that. So what makes you different?
I think there's two. I know there's a lot of people who just talk to me. They'll have like a YouTube. It's almost like they'll have a content agency. So they'll go to them like 4 times now. they'll go to someone who has a content agency who is just doing really good. Like if you just search someone's name, you're like, oh, this guy's look like he's doing pretty good. Then you find out that they're just getting views, but no one's converting.
Mm-hmm.
No one's converting. There's no call. It's just like, here you riff on something for 2 hours and we'll just make a video for you. And they're just making content. Like it's not about the content. Like if someone to turn this to a lead or a client, it's not just about just the content. It's the actual marketing behind it. Then, and like really believe in like minimally edited videos. Like you don't, at the start, because people spend so much time making the best video, and someone with a problem is just like, how do I set up this cold email stuff? Like how to set it up. I don't care if it looks great. I'm dumb and I don't know how to set this thing up. So that's how you start. Like minimally edited videos, just honestly, there's just the marketing behind it. Like I know we can get leads. I know we can get clients. We just send it through a funnel. I know we can get tons of views if you give it some time, which is just an insane amount of traffic. Since for minimally edits, you don't have to deal with giving your video to somebody and then it takes 6 hours and all this other stuff and you're waiting. You can usually just skip that part. At the start, over time, you do have to have good like production quality.
Right. You're slowly scaling the process up rather than trying to jump from 0 to 100 because right. No, that totally makes sense, because I think one of the interesting things that I really gravitate with what you said is this process of getting clients. And that's what even makes it really hard to sell a guarantee to somebody. Like you turn around and go, well, okay, we have, I can generate you 1 million plus views a video, right? Well, okay, cool. How much money is that going to bring me in? How much is that? Can I close a client with that?
Right.
And it's tough because what I'm curious though is the length of time that it takes, because even when I'm working with people who are in podcasting, a podcast, the way that it works is that you sit down, you have a conversation, a genuine conversation like this, but it's about forming that connection, forming that network. Sometimes it may take you a couple months to land a client, and you have to be willing to understand that. So for you and your marketing, generally, what's the time span that people can expect, not guaranteed, expect to get a client within working with you?
Let's just say 6 months is the time frame. This is for two reasons. One, you knock off all the people who want quick results. They'd come, I want to get a lot of views, or I want to get a client in 30 days. I'm like, you're doing the marketing for your business the rest of your life. So 30 days makes no sense to me. So I started saying 6 months, like just to knock out all those people.
Right.
So it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, but 6 months is enough time to build the habit, let alone get the views coming in. There's really like two modes. There's traffic mode, so trying to get 1,000 views or more. And once you figure that, then you go to like conversion mode, which is usually the funnel. You're putting actual call to action in your videos, like what's working. Is there leads coming in? Is it your sales page? Is it, what's not working? There's just two different modes we have to deal with. And some people are really good at that conversion part, and they're kind of hesitant to go a little clickbaity in the thumbnails. They can kind of convert a couple clients, then you kind of really have to we need more than 200 views. We need to be a little clickbaity just to get the views up. So if you got a client at 200 views, what happens when you get 10,000? So there's just different modes you have to deal with. Get more views and then fix the conversion issue.
Right. So 6 months is probably your a good amount of time, because basically it gives you enough time to fix the conversion issues. And granted, if you're doing your job right, you're gonna fix the conversion issues within the first month or the second month. But say, like, hypothetical, somebody does not get a client working with you for 6 to 8 months. How would you then go about trying to position it differently to go, all right, well, we couldn't get you a client within 6 to 8 months, but don't lose hope. There's still hope around the thing, because I know you've been there too, where you spent months without getting a client.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. And then all of a sudden, 3 will come in the door and you're like, oh, geez. Or it's somebody you've already talked to, and they're waiting, or whatever. People have a million reasons why not. Usually they see progress, so they usually don't even say anything. I'm not saying everybody stays 6 months. Some leave. I think most people who do leave early, they make a couple of videos, things aren't working. and they kind of freak out. And it's like, it's been, like, think this is your business. You're going to do the rest of your life. This is, you're getting help with 4 videos a week. It's $3,000 for 6 months, which is nothing really. If you think how many a client could be worth for 6 months, statistically, it's really not a huge amount of money. Like, I've paid more than that during one time to get stuff fixed. So usually people just aren't, they don't complain. They can see other results.
Yeah.
If you got 200 views, no leads for 6 months. Yeah. They're like, this is ridiculous, but that doesn't happen. So
no, right. No, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
look, you can measure it. You can see the lead. Like I'll like send me the screenshots of your landing page. So I can see that. I can see the leads I can see the email subscribers going up. Or like 2 months ago, you could barely get 100 views. Now we're getting 600. You have 6 times the traffic to your offer. Like, they can just see that.
Do you do any, when you set things up for landing pages, do you do any paid strategies like YouTube ads, or is this all organic?
It's all just organic. You just put the call to action in your video within 1 or 2 minutes. And after 7 days, you can just look and see if the numbers went up. Simple enough.
Right. That's literally it. You just look at the numbers and you sort of reference, and then you keep doing the same thing. You just keep cranking out videos. And I think that's a pretty good thing to really look at. I remember when we look into the client stuff, about 3 to 4 months is, I think, a pretty good, a good thing for that as well. Like, I've been in, when it comes to podcasting, 6 months isn't generally about that thing, but I think it needs to be more about fostering relationships rather than that quick client sale, because something you brought up that I really resonate with is the client that you get is often from somebody you already know, right? So you've been talking, for example, when we started working together, we were talking, I think, for about a couple weeks before we had pulled the trigger on it. And now, a year later, because we know each other, you're on my podcast. This never would have happened had I never went there. And I
think it's like all people usually, or you've already talked to. Like, people should really just start going back through everybody, every DM you've ever made, someone who's bought something. It's like, hey, do you need help with this? What's your plans? And someone will. Like, if you talk to enough people, it'll be sketched out, and that's fine. But like, someone will.
Yeah. I
mean,
and that's a thing that I find kind of difficult in this space too. And I know you've experienced, but what I want to know is, how do you get around this where there's a lot of people in the social media space selling a bunch of stuff, selling things in the DMs, like, hey, you want to spend $20, 20 something on my course and guarantee this? Hey, I know you have this business, and it's like everybody kind of is pitching their services like it's the Wild West. Who's going to draw first? My question for you is, how do you go through the process of qualifying and disqualifying leads or clients? Because I like your approach, but I just want you to share what your approach is.
I think how I used to do it, now I have like a intake form, and they have to fill it out. It's all like, if someone can't fill out a form, then they're probably not even serious. Like, it's literally like a 2-minute thing that just says, do you make money? Essentially, like, they're just like, you have to identify if they actually make money, because a lot of people, they just don't. They say they make money. Yeah. Well, then you just say, hey, this is what it costs, and they ghost you, and you just. But you have to basically just find out if they make money or not. So you say, do you have a business? Do you have landing pages? You can usually just search, like, click their links. Does it go to anything? Usually you have to be like actually direct with people. Like, I know that sounds. We're scared more of rejection than getting a yes, because getting a yes, you're like, you almost don't expect it. Because statistically, you get 99 times you're going to hear either a completely nothing, or just hear no. So a lot of times you just have to be completely direct. It's better just to ask up front. Like, you start talking to people like, hey, this is, you followed me for a reason. I'm just trying to find out what that is. We're looking to grow. You get clients or leads through YouTube or something, and if they don't respond, maybe say something one more time, or if they do, just go like really direct with and just find out if they need help or not. Because they know you're never gonna talk. If they don't need help, then just leave them. Hey, cool. You got my contacts. You're following me. You got me when you need ready, or if you know somebody else, no problem.
I had somebody today follow me and then ask me, hey, do you need help with this? And I said, nah, and they unfollowed me. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't
It's
care
like
about it, but it's just funny to me when people do
people,
that. Yeah. I mean, and I think people get so caught up into the selling process of doing it wrong, or like you said, they're scared of being rejected. But I also feel like if you don't set the stage first that you're here to make money and you're looking to make a sale, then you get into that long-winded DM where you guys just start talking about random stuff, you know? Like
yeah,
I'm okay with small talk and conversation. I think it's very good to build that relationship going, but there's a tipping point where people's intentions and people's sort of like intentions say, oh, well, he's not trying to sell me anything. He just wants to build this genuine connection. That when you flip the script on them and you go, well, now I'm going to sell you something, you kind of think of it like, wait a minute, I thought this was just a common conversation. And it makes you feel more sleazy. But if you went right out the gate and you were transparent and honest about it, like I could see how that works.
almost,
100%.
yeah. Just
And
like, hey,
you taught me a couple things about flipping the script. Yeah.
somebody have to say the thing because I don't know, we're all in here to. You can't help somebody if they don't give you money, so they have to. Like I'm not helping you people for free, so they have to say yes to this is what it's going to cost. And a lot of times you can't convince somebody who does. It's like we're not sending cold DMs or something. So either they trust you and they're not ready or whatever. So it almost doesn't even matter. Like you might as well just say the thing. Just say, hey, you've been following you for a while. I've been seeing your, whatever. Have you been looking to get on YouTube or not, or whatever? Been looking to get a podcast, or you have a
Right.
podcast? Here's the thing, whatever. I think it could help with this X, Y, Z. And if they don't want to buy, they'll just say they won't respond or anything. But if they're like warm, that's when they'll start to, yeah, you do have a podcast. I kind of hate doing all this editing crap. All this kind of, people say like their real like thoughts in like a DM, and then you just bitch your thing. Say yes or no. If not, you just kind of thumbs up and move on. You just.
What are some of the trends that you would say you see in YouTube marketing that creators and brands should be paying attention to right now?
So one, you can like hop. This is not good, right? With like hop, if anything, like the TikTok thing, when it happens, if there's any trend, you can now don't make a lot of videos, but if there's any way to like a crap ton of views, and it does help, to like talk about that. Like when minimal editing was kind of I feel like it's been a thing for like there's videos where it says like the new way to make YouTube videos, and they're talking about like minimally editing, right?
It's
like,
not new, but yeah.
It's not new, but that's what you don't have to do it this way anymore. Like that type of, it's not trending, but it's something that's going on that people are feeling a lot. If there's any way you can do that,
Right.
retirement guy, I'm like, we should just make videos about the new laws in Canada that's going to affect your retirement. That's not trending, but it's like it's recent stuff that's going on, so that can get a lot of views. You do need traffic. So to some extent, like you do have to talk about views.
Right.
You can't talk about clients or leads without talking about views. So there's some part you do have to play the game of YouTube, right?
Yeah. And I mean, the thing about these is that they kind of identify themselves for you. Like, for example, the TikTok ban, everyone's talking about the TikTok ban. It's literally going where the market is, talking about things that people are already in discussion about, and you're guaranteed views. And I think where it gets a little tricky about it, though, is looking for those specific topics that are important and valuable for people, but do not get the amount of views that they should. So what's your approach and strategy when it comes to stuff like that?
Like
I mean, you have a cool topic, you have a really good topic that you want to talk about. And I mean, I think you already kind of brought it up with the goal setting and the goal and the reframing us. Yes. So market research and reframing.
Yeah. You just search it on YouTube and see if there's any demands. And then you search it on Google, see if there's any websites, and you search it on whatever, cold email generator. I'm just making something up, or how to build a podcast. And then you search Reddit and just see if these people are talking about it. Because if not, then you just can't make the video because you'll just wait. All of your time is wasted. That fixes like everything. Like you don't have like low impressions. Well, just if you just have to have a video with demand, you spend 10 minutes to do that. And then you go to the next step of the title and thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Most clients
totally.
already make the video and edit. Like it's really just a good title and thumbnail, and the idea to start with. To me, you do the easiest stuff first. Like eventually, yeah, you're gonna get so big where maybe you have to edit better. You need a better lighting and stuff like that. But if you jump to there, you're not going to stay a client for long. I can already tell you're not, because there's just too many. Your brain is thinking of you're worrying about lights and all this stuff.
You're worrying about too many things that are
Yeah.
going to just come naturally as you go along, rather than just getting the video out. And you're focused on a perfection, and that kind of slows you down. Yeah, no, I'm experienced that 100 times over and over again, so I totally get it. And it's interesting too, especially now. What makes it even tough is we have AI in marketing now, and we have a lot of people that are sort of using it either effectively or as a crutch. What role do you think AI plays in YouTube marketing, and how do you see that evolving?
I think the script, or what I've noticed even myself, like it's hard to explain topics sometimes to get the gist of what's going on. So a lot of times I will talk to ChatGPT. I'm like, I need to explain from a marketing point of view. This needs to be simple that people can understand. Like there's traffic mode, convert mode. This is it. We're going to fix these two things, and you'll get a client. Because they start thinking about retention and lights and all this other stuff. It turns into perfectionism, and it's like we just have to fix these two things, and you'll start getting leads and clients. That's all you have to do. I think just talking to it and making things easier, like simple, like with a script or something. I use titles, but it always usually comes up with these wacky. Like I would still do the market research first, and then you can kind of go to it like, okay, what do you think a good title is? This based off this is the idea. Here's some images. Here's actual thumbnails. What do you think is a good title? It usually gives you, honestly, they're not good. Because it almost gives you like 100 options. I'm like, I can't even evaluate the difference. I feel like when it comes to a title, you need to pick it. Pick it yourself or base it off of another video.
No, that's a good advice, because I've done an AI for titles and thumbnails, and sometimes it hits or not. The big thing I use AI for, besides script writing and the other stuff, is the descriptions and the tags. Like that's a really good thing for show notes and descriptions, because one of the hardest parts about targeting for SEO or doing this is you are dealing with this thing where, how am I going to describe it in so many words in the description? I know, and some people don't put descriptions and they get millions of views, but yeah, that's an interesting way of doing things. So I would say, like, when it comes to, before we kind of close things off, I would say, have you ever worked, you probably already answered this, but have you ever worked with a client whose expectations didn't align with YouTube's reality, and how did you handle that?
That's good. Many times.
Yes.
I've had like podcast clients where we would make the video, where she would make the video and everything. And like, well, you have to come up with the idea for the video to click into it, right? That's the thing we're talking about is the beginning would be all this kind of, you want to, like, imagine not having this intro and we're just talking. People have no idea what all this video is. And we don't really figure it out till 20 minutes. Well, you're basically going to have to lie in the title thumbnail. You're going to have to lie because there's no other way for someone to come in to click this video. Because the topic is just, I'm talking to a man in Israel. What the hell are you talking? Like, it makes no sense. Like, what were we actually talking about, right? So that was really hard, and eventually it just didn't turn out right. We worked together for a little while, but it just turned into the reality of, like, to me, there's set rules. Like, there's a lot of people don't want to make a thumbnail. It's like, you just have to. Like, you could get dramatically more views, which means more traffic to your offer. There's a system for that. You just follow the system. Like, it's not even, So I think stuff like that's happened a lot. You just kind of have to. Usually they just churn after a while. You can just kind of tell where things are going. If they don't want to play the game right, there's only so much you can do. Eventually, you're like, hey, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Because I don't know I like the money coming in, but I don't. We're fighting back and forth over. I don't want to be too clickbaity. Well, this title is horrible. Like, it's not. I understand what you're saying, but this title isn't going to make sense. Like, it's too boring or something.
Now, For this type of service, is this like a done for you service, or is this a do with you type of
Like
thing?
do what you've done with you.
Okay. Now, have you
Yeah.
ever done for you, and how would you compare in terms of results? Because I'll be honest, sometimes when I'm looking into picking up a service or a course, I prefer to buy things as lazy as I am. I prefer to buy things where it's kind of done for me rather than being, hey, I'll just provide you the course material. Here you go. And I'm like, I don't know how to use this course material. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's good. You'd rather it be done with you?
yes.
Yeah,
Either
that's
they
good.
work with me directly while we're both tag teaming the stuff, or they're doing enough work to justify the price that I'm willing to pay.
Like
So
your copywriter guy.
yes. So
Where it's
like
like,
for
oh well,
you,
I don't want to do all
yeah,
this crap. Like you can start to be like, that's worth it because I need, yeah.
based off of your experience, though, how have you found those relationships are comparative to working with somebody versus doing all the work for them?
So most of my clients now are done with you. So like they edit the video and all this stuff.
Mhm.
But before that, they come with me to the title, thumbnail idea, and then that's like a big part. Like I usually fix this for them. Sometimes I'll even make the thumbnail, not make them, but I'll tell them I fill out this SOP, but they just
Mhm.
got to to the designer, so they're paying the $5-10, but I'm basically filling the whole thing out.
Mm.
It's kind of done with you. It's kind of in the mix.
Right. You handle all the marketing side. They handle the content and production
Yeah,
side, basically.
that's usually how it usually turns out. We've done a couple done for you clients. They're not. It depends where they're at. If they have like a new channel, they're
Mhm.
completely new. It takes away to get, I call it like runway. You have to make these videos to figure out what's going on. YouTube gives it to the completely wrong person at the beginning. So if someone is paying you thousands of dollars and they have no new channel yet, they're probably just going to churn because they can't see what's going on. Like if I don't know, if you're starting someone's email list and someone's going to give you $2,000, you're going to pay someone $2,000. They have literally zero people. They're going to be like, this is not a good ROI, right? It doesn't clearly. It is not a few. They usually have to have a channel already going, and it just stuff's not working.
Yeah.
They're getting 100 views. They have 2,000 clients. They're getting 122 views. No one's converting. Then at that point, they have enough runway. Like everybody knows this channel is about. It's just usually your title thumbnails aren't really good. You have no call to action in the video, like nothing. Most of it is just done with you though. That seems to be the best place in the middle.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. That makes total sense.
Done
So,
with you, done for you. Because if I make their thumbnail, it's kind of in between, honestly.
mhm. So I'm gonna close it off with pretty much two more questions, but honestly, so far, just learning everything about you, working with you for the past year has been really interesting because we were only working together in terms of like paying you a couple, only for like a couple months, but we stayed in contact constantly.
The
And
whole time.
over time, I've seen you ask certain tools, like people are asking what type of tools they need to get started. So what type of tools or platforms do you recommend for creators or marketers to improve their YouTube marketing?
So definitely get a thumbnail designer. You can just go through. I have like a whole SOP, so you could technically buy that.
What does SOP stand for?
So standards of practice.
Standards of
So
practice.
it
Okay.
really just explains the whole market research side. Like if you want to give a thumb designer, because most people, they say they go to thumb designers like, make me this thumbnail, and it comes out horrible, and they never use a thumbnail designer ever again. It's usually because you don't explain enough like what's going on. So how it's set up is like, it shows the thumbnail that you want to imitate from. Like I want it to kind of look like this, but we're going to change the face and the collage, everything. But I want it to look roughly like this. Then you have like, it shows the next part is like your image, like what image you want to put in. So just say that person's face, put my face. What text I use? Make sure you write this on it. So it's just SOP that makes everything easier. Like when you give to the designer. So that's a big part. Like you should have a designer. If it's just some Fiverr person, like you should, to me, I would never, if you're actually here to make money, I wouldn't be making thumbnails. Because over time, it's going to be making more and more money. And literally, you're drawing pictures. When you could be talking to someone that could make you $1,000, that could make you $5,000, but you're spending 2 hours drawing a picture. So that doesn't make sense. Right. So that's a big part. That's a big part. Write down your systems. Like I'd write down every system of how you come up with, if it's wrong. how you come up with the video idea. A lot of times it's not that we bad at videos or clients are bad at videos. They're just trying million different things. And one video takes 2 hours, one takes 10 hours. I want to try this new thing. There's all these different things. There's just no system now. You should just write down every step of how you're going to do something.
Right.
So that helps a lot. A/B testing, we use A/B testing for ours. It's kind of a next level type thing. A/B testing works really well because if your video, we've had videos where because you're making your title thumbnail, so someone clicks into your, we have a 2% click-through rate, and that you just make it, right? Or you try a different way, like a completely different way, and that'll get like 8% click-through rate. So you just have like 4 times as many people could watch a video. If everything stayed the same, the impressions went up, you went from a 2% click-through rate to an 8%. You just 4 extra views. So that, I think that helps a lot. We do that for all clients. So
That's cool.
Thumbnails, titles. It works really well, honestly. I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds like it is a pretty rewarding thing, not just for the client, but for you as well. I mean, you're not sitting here working 24 hours a day trying to, fine tune or draw pictures if you have a system right.
Yeah.
So I guess where do you actually see YouTube marketing kind of heading in the next 5 to 10 years though? Like, especially with all the advancements in AI, do you expect there to be any changes? Because it's always evolving.
Yeah. I know with thumbnails and stuff, the video kind of auto plays. So I wonder if that could change it a little bit. A lot of it is from a human behavior point of view, the marketing all kind of stays the same as far as why someone, buys something. Where they trust you, right?
I don't think any of that's going to change anytime soon.
It's been the same forever. I'm not sure. They keep changing stuff with YouTube, but it seemed like it doesn't affect it too much. I know subscribers don't mean a lot. There's just different things like that. I'm sure there's been a lot of changes, but it doesn't feel like there's a huge amount of get someone to click into your video and talk about the same thing for 6 months with a call to action. That's all you need to do. That literally fixes everything.
I think
we use ourselves, I guess, is the problem.
Yeah. No, we summed it out.
Ourselves that ruin,
why something. Is there anything that you would change about the platform, and what would it be and why?
It'd be cool if it turn off shorts.
Okay.
If you could choose.
Yeah.
I don't mean delete them from ever, because it does bring a crap ton of traffic. It's quicker and it's like social media, quicker, get ideas out. But I feel like you should be able to. That my wife likes short. She likes short form content. So for her, she would watch it. She would watch whatever content people make. Totally fine. But then for other people, kind of not into it. And there's this whole thing of the shorts destroy a channel. We get a lot of short form viewers, then it destroys your long form. And YouTube says it doesn't. But then there's people who proven that that's kind of wrong and you're lying to us. Our stuff has died down. And I'm I don't know. I don't work with people who do shorts really. So I don't.
Yeah, I already noted that because when I look at your bio, you go, YouTube shorts are dumb. I've always wondered why you thought it was dumb, because I use YouTube shorts and I got a lot of attraction, but I feel like that's always better for entertainment based content, which is 80% of the platform.
Well, yeah.
But if you're trying to sell a product or service, and it's weird because TikTok has kind of proven that it works, but I just don't know. I don't know the metrics behind it. But if you go and scroll on TikTok, it's always somebody selling something. So my question to you, why do you think YouTube shorts are dumb in compared to using long form video?
I like long form. I think some of it's just a personal preference. I like long form. I would never, I just don't watch shorts. I get sucked in. I think that's the other part is I get sucked in and I'm is this what I want out of my life, to get sucked in? Social media, get sucked in. This is not
doom scrolling.
Yeah. Thing I want for my life, where I think the world, the things that we get addicted to, I'm this isn't. So I think it's kind of like that too.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. I'm kind of the same way. I can see the value in it as a creator who puts out a quick short minute video that I feel like one thing that I love the most about when it came to shorts is there's a lot of news topics out there that I feel don't need to be 10, 15 minutes long. If you can get them done in 2 minutes, just get people out of there. And people have actually engaged in my content more with those 1 to 2 minute news videos And they appreciate that because it's like, yo, you just saved me having to watch 10 minutes of the guy rambling about the Nintendo Switch 2, and you just got it out there in like, less than a couple minutes. But no.
Yeah. I think that's where it's like preference, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather watch the long, but then there's people watching your content about short form. So like, it's like 50-50. There's no, it just depends on the person, I think.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree with you for that. But anyway, it has been going on for 47 minutes. Honestly, I always learn a lot from you in terms of the insight. Everything that you say is pretty spot on. Where can they reach you on social media, and where can they go to, connect with you to either join the YouTube marketers or anything like that?
I'd say Twitter.
Just Twitter. I call it Twitter.
Twitter. That's the real name. That's the best place. You can just DM me all the time, or join the email list. I've been writing a daily email for it's only like 8 days now, but no one unsubscribed. 1 or 2 people, I think. So they can't be that bad. I think it's a lot more closer. You can tell with someone like click a links. There's less 10 people like your content, and they're like, well, I just liked it I'm not buying your stuff, Jeff. I'm just, I'm just liking it because I'm just scrolling, wasting my time. I'm just doing, versus like emails, like people only click this link because it has something they want.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to put you on a list of people who keep clicking stuff because clearly something's going on. So that's been fun.
All right. Well, that's going to pretty much wrap up this insightful episode of the Creative's Corner Insights. A big thank you to Jeff Parker for sharing his expertise on YouTube marketing and building sustainable systems for growth. If you have found any value in this discussion, be sure to connect with Jeff and check out his $500 marketing system. It's only 8 spots, so hopefully by the time people will listen to it, there's still spots available. But I do feel like, as somebody who's been in there myself when it was first starting out, the information is legit, where you learn a lot about how YouTube marketing, and not even that, you're getting somebody who already knows the process. So he could just feed you the information and be like, all right, plug it in, we're good. I mean, the results were out for itself. So as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and then share this episode with somebody who you think can benefit from his wisdom, pretty much. And until next time, keep creating, keep innovating, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Creative Corner Insights. Thank you very much.